everyone, and welcome to the very first Wild Horse webinar with the Wild Horse Summit. And tonight, our guest is Austin Hill with the Wild Horse Refuge. Austin is the Public Relations Director at Wild Horse Refuge. Austin Hill first visited the Wild Animal Sanctuary. Oh, and you're also a Public Relations Director at Wild Horse Sanctuary as well, right?
Yeah,
And Wild Animal Sanctuary.
yeah,
So
all
all
one thing. Yeah.
encompassing.
Yeah, all encompassing.
The day after graduating college in 2014, you're a baby. he was he
Thank you.
was instantly enamored. He spent some time traveling edu- as a traveling educational theater actor and would read the TWAS tour guide in between performances. Born and raised in Colorado, he grew up in a family that was heavily involved in animal rescue. Good for you all. By summer of 2015, he found himself joining his very favorite place/mission on the planet. Is extremely passionate about sharing the animal stories to educate others about the captive wildlife crisis and also the wild horses. And so thank you, Austin. Thank you for joining us tonight and being part of our Wild Horse webinar series. We're very excited, and I love that you've been there ever since. Can you tell me what kind of animal rescue that your family was involved in?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because my mother is also, if she could do more with horse rescue, she definitely would. So we were a dog and cat rescue. Was the one that was a foster based one out of Lakewood, Colorado. I definitely grew up with that mentality of I drove around with a mom that had a dog bowl with water in the car, that just in case, or a leash, and if we ever saw kiddos that were running loose or that kind of thing. I grew up with a mom too that was very, very infatuated with horses. So that imagery and those conversations were also very prevalent in the home I grew up in. So all of this feels very full circle. We got really more, we'll talk about it in the presentation, but we got more involved with horse rescue in the last few years. That part of just my childhood personally was very excited and felt very comfortable with that.
Very good. Well, would you like to start your presentation now, and then we'll
Sure.
go to Q&A after you're done?
Sure. And real quick, Lisa, before I jump in, my time frame, just want to make sure I'm on the same
However
page
long
with
you
you.
want to talk.
Okay. I'll go 4 hours or so. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. Won't be that bad. We'll cover a lot.
Good.
Okay, cool. So you should be seeing my screen there. And I'm gonna make that full view. So hopefully everyone's just seeing the only thing on your screen besides maybe my little thumbnail in the corner is just some horses there with the beautiful backdrop at the Wild Horse Refuge. Um, well, hi everybody. If you're watching this, wherever you're watching this, whenever you're watching this, thank you so much for joining. We're very excited to be the first one of this series, so we're honored. But yes, we're going to talk about the Wild Horse Refuge tonight, located in Craig, Colorado, and it's 30,000 acres. It's massive. We're going to do a deep dive into this property, and we are part of the Wild Animal Sanctuary. We're going to talk about that as well. And real quickly, my name is Austin. I'm the Public Relations Director here at the Wild Animal Sanctuary. And I know we're going to throw around these names a lot tonight, but the Wild Animal Sanctuary is really kind of the umbrella network of all of this. So we are the oldest and largest carnivore sanctuary in the world, and we started getting more involved with wild Mustang rescue in the last few years. We have 3 facilities in Colorado, 2 for carnivores. There's some Mustangs at another one, and then Wild Horse Refuge was established in 2023, and that's just Colorado's wild-born Mustangs. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. Now, our mission at the sanctuary is to rescue animals from illegal and/or abusive situations and rehabilitate and heal those animals so they can live freely in large acreage natural habitats while educating people about the captive wildlife crisis in America and around the world. So education is a giant part of our mission. And I'm going to do kind of a quick overview about our other facilities, and then we'll do the rest of it about the horses here. But the sanctuary, we've been in operation for over 46 years now, founded by Executive Director and founder Pat Craig. Rescued the first animal in 1980. And now we are home to nearly 1,000 lions, tigers, bears, wolves, leopards, jaguars, fox, lynx, bobcat, and of course, Mustangs, among many other animals in our care. And again, we are the largest and oldest animal sanctuary for carnivores in the world. Now, we have 3 facilities in Colorado. There is the 1,400-acre sanctuary where I'm sitting right now. We're about 40-ish minutes northeast of Denver, Colorado. In 2018, we secured the Wild Animal Refuge. That's in southeast Colorado, almost 10,000 acres. That's massive. We'll talk about that one a bit more here soon, as there are some wild horses down there too. And of course, the 30,000-acre horse refuge in northwest Colorado. These are the 3 facilities we kind of encompassing over 40,000 acres under our network of sanctuaries. Now, if you're watching this, or maybe currently watching this right now, maybe some of you have been to the sanctuary before in Keensburg. When you visit, you are on this elevated walkway. That's phenomenal. It's 30 feet above the animals for their comfort. As you can see there, this is not CGI or AI or anything. This is just a quick drone shot during a normal visiting day. That walkway is much more comfortable for the animals. And that's by Pat's design. When he would work above them and do anything above them, especially back in the early days, he found that the animals truly were not even had any concern or care about us being up there. They don't have defendable territory on that plane above their heads. We're not on ground level, which is a huge part. Pat always said we're not going to open to the public if we're going to be on ground level. It's much more stressful for the animals. And he actually didn't even open to the public until 2001. And then we're looking at this walkway here. It's 1.5 miles to the end and back, 3 miles round trip. I don't know if you can see kind of in the middle of the shot there. There's a kind of a white airplane looking hangar building way in the distance, but that's the welcome center where my office is, where I'm talking to you right now. And again, it's 1.5 mile walk to the end and back, 3 miles round trip. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but there's a couple lions sleeping down there in this habitat. They were working on that water habitat at the moment, or at the time, but at the moment there's 3 tigers living in there, which is awesome. But again, when you visit, you're on this elevated walkway, which again is much more comfortable for the animals. It's all about really learning about these animals, because they're all rescues. They're coming from apartments, garages, backyards, basements, horse trailers, gas stations, shopping malls, roadside zoos, Tiger King. I mean, you name it. And then we got pretty landlocked. So we started looking farther afield for different property and different ways we can keep saving animals. And we were able to secure this land, the Wild Animal Refuge down southeast Colorado, near Springfield, Colorado. It's almost 10,000 acres. It's really just kind of like what I call the Lost World. It's an oasis. It's absolutely stunning. It's forested with those juniper trees. Canyon lands, rocky outcroppings. I mean, these valleys. It's really, truly incredible. And we have many, many habitats down there. And we'll talk a little bit more about the design, and how the horses come into play there. And then lastly, the Wild Horse Refuge. Here's a quick shot of one of the many herds out there living freely, doing their thing across that 30,000 acres. But let's kind of do a bit more of a deep dive into this. So what is the Wild Horse Refuge? We specialize in rescuing Mustangs in order to really restore and maintain their free and wild spirit. So truly, these are wild-born Mustangs by every sense of the word. And really, let's talk about that. What is the Wild Horse Refuge? So our goal is to virtually rewild both Colorado-born and non-Colorado-born wild horses by releasing them into these huge, vast open spaces. So as we just talked about, there's a Wild Horse Refuge in Craig. That's the main one. It's 30,000 acres. Now, that's only for Colorado's Mustangs, wild-born horses that were born and raised up there on the HMAs in Colorado. And then there's the Wild Animal Refuge horses in Springfield, Colorado. We have several down there as well, but those are for the out-of-state horses that still can roam on the 7,000 acres where we don't have carnivore habitats at the moment. So they still have tons of room to roam as well, but the vast majority are still at that horse refuge in Craig, Colorado. Now, it's a little bit confusing, kind of bouncing around here, but so I real quickly kind of glitched on me there. So this next video I'm going to show you guys, it's about 3 minutes long. Hopefully you guys can hear it okay. Lisa, let me know if you can't. But it's very awesome. You're going to hear a narrator that kind of sounds like the actor Sam Elliott. It's not Sam Elliott, but it's a great narrator. And this is a video all about kind of when we first acquired the property and rescued the first horses back in 2023. At the time, the acreage was a little bit less. I think it was 22,500. We have since bumped up to 30,000 acres. But otherwise, this video is awesome. This is the real deal. It's really the land, really the horses. We have some wonderful videographers that filmmakers that have done a marvelous job really capturing the spirit and really the scale of this amazing property. It's about a 3 minute long video. It's wonderful, and it should start playing automatically right here.
There are tales only the wild ones can tell the spirit unbroken, untamed, wild, free.
Uh-oh. There it goes. Okay, good.
At home in the most rugged terrain, knowing no boundary. Where speed, strength, and room to run are the only things that matter. Oh, the spirit of the wild boils hot in these veins. Yet it seems as the world gets a bit more crowded, a bit more busy, a bit more covered in concrete and fence, there seems to be less and less wilderness for these wild ones. The ones who call Colorado's roughest spaces home. So they found their freedom fenced up, hemmed in by bars, rounded up and corralled, their spirit bound tight by no choice of their own. Until today. This, a wild, wild space for the wildest and most free spirits on this earth. Every inch, every acre, every mile, untamed, unfenced, untouched, theirs alone. Moving as the wind guides them, following instinctive paths carved through these canyons and grasslands thousands of years old. Stretching far to the horizon, a place to reclaim their birthright and regain their freedom. It's time for them to regain their freedom.
And I don't want to talk over it too much, but this last shot is really incredible. It's really a great zoom out of horses. Get kind of a scope of this thing. And those are just some of the horses. We care for well over 200 there at the Wild Horse Refuge. And we'll kind of keep explaining things there, but really awesome video. And again, it is now at 30,000 acres. So otherwise, but that's the land, that's them. That's really the real McCoy there. So where do these horses come from? And I know I'm talking to a lot of great enthusiasts of horses, so you probably know a lot of these terms already, but I'll still kind of briefly explain it to you. But approximately 85% of the Wild Horse Refuge's horses are coming directly from the BLM after they cull the horses from herd management areas, otherwise HMAs. And the remaining 15% are coming from private individual surrenders. And that's just a result of failed adoptions. And again, they're still Mustangs, but it's just, whatever happened with the training didn't work, so they reached out to us and see if they could surrender them to the horse refuge, and we let them go back to be wild and free. So, and again, you guys might already know this, but what are BLM herd management areas? So essentially the BLM manages horses and burros in 177 herd management areas across 10 western states, and each one is unique in its terrain features, local climate, and natural resources. And just as a herd is unique in its history, genetic heritage, coloring, and size distribution. So they all have these great variances. And Colorado has 4 official HMAs along with a number of unofficial areas as well. But there's the Sandwash Basin, there's Little Book Cliffs, there's the Piceance East Douglas HMAs, there's Spring Creek Basin. And many of our horses are coming from the Sandwash Basin area. In fact, we're pretty close to it, actually. Our property is. And the problem really started here in the U.S. when wild horses were pushed into smaller and smaller areas over the past century. But, in 2021, this problem really burst onto a national stage with the scheduled roundups of hundreds of Sandwash Basin horses. And as we know, that's still going on. And here's a quick kind of map there. So Craig is really our mailing address, and that green area is the Sandwash Basin. And we're a little bit to the right of that. I'll show you guys another map of that in a second, but kind of give you an idea where this is. This is in the upper northwest part of Colorado. So Craig, Maybell up there, past the western slope. And so as this time, as you know, these roundups were going on, prompted by the governor and other concerned supporters of ours, our immediate effort to help the horses revolved around sending some of them to our 10,000 acre facility in southern Colorado at the Wild Animal Refuge. And that's when we talked about with that great, really beautiful oasis kind of look. Here's an even bigger view of it from up above, really high up. So the first horses went there and they got to kind of roam free on the 7,000 acres. It didn't have any habitats. So some people I think were kind of concerned, oh my gosh, they're going to run with lions and tigers and there's going to be bears chasing them and stuff. And absolutely not. Everyone's completely safe. But the horses do have kind of the run of the place where there's not habitats, which is pretty cool. And again, some people are already kind of familiar with some of the animals we have there. Some beautiful animals. We care for well over 200 large carnivores and a few other animals down there. There's alpaca, there's some donkey, and there's some yak, but a lot of carnivores as well. But here's some of the horses there at the refuge down south. So the exotic animals have about 2,500 acres, and the horses have that 7,500 acres. So again, they have lots and lots of space. But these are the ones that are not born in Colorado, living large and doing awesome down at the south property there. So we started realizing, this started snowballing. We realized, what, they really need their own space. There's more and more horses or being called upon to try to help from these same auctions, and we were attending the same ones. So we spent the next 14 months looking at large ranches all over Colorado, and we really truly found one we thought was really perfect, and we went after it. It was in northwest Colorado. It's now at 30,000 acres, Lake Creek, 14 natural springs, 7 wells, and it's only 30 miles east of the Sandwash Basin. So for many of these horses, they had kind of this funny interruption or this pause, but it's like they went right back home, and they went to a property that was there's a I can see how close that is to that green part where the Sandwich Basin is on the left. It's like they went right back home, and the land is very lush where they are now at the refuge. And they have all this space to roam, and it's not something that that's been fed on and been grazed upon for a long time. So it was still very lush when our first horses moved there in summer 2023. I have another video for you guys here pretty soon. This is basically just a very peaceful video, and it really kind of has a bit more of the land. It's a bit more current, but also kind of shows the moment of release into some of these bigger areas after the Mustangs have been rescued. And we closed on the property in January 2023, and the first set of horses were released in early summer. We did talk about that. But here, yep, there we go. Should be playing automatically. It's going to come in kind of quietly at first. Very tranquil soundscape here.
There's no sound.
Well, you don't hear anything?
No.
Oh my gosh.
It started over because I know it's really good.
That's so strange. It says it's going on mine. Okay. Did you hear anything in the other one? The last video, could you hear audio and video or audio?
One of the other people had sound, so might only be mine. I only was able to hear the voiceover on the other one, no music. Huh. Okay, just keep going.
Strange.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Well, let me do something real quick here. Let me see if I can reset it real quick. No, it's okay. Let me it has everything optimized to share the sound. It should be going. Let me try it one more time. Yeah, please comment in the chat if you guys can't hear it okay. But it sounds like you said one of them said they did have sound, so that's good at least. Someone's getting it. But right now, music is playing. There's no voiceover on this one, so maybe that's part of it. I'm not sure. So you're not missing any voiceover, at least.
It must just be my phone, my computer, but that's okay.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. So again, this is call us the final gate, because this is, we want them to, no more corrals, no more what they've been through the last couple of years. This is just what they get to have from now on. So this video really is that first 80 going out into the amazing. But that's pretty much what it looks like. I mean, that was a much bigger scale. And it said, learn more and please support by purchasing an acre of land at wildhorserefuge.org. And yeah, we're kind of quickly talk about that too. But yeah, we have more than 200 horses, and they're all Colorado wild, born, living, roaming freely. Just literally exactly that video you saw. That's the horses. Those are the first ones, and that's the land at the Wild Horse Refuge. Doing their thing now, and it's pretty incredible. And I'll kind of break down some different things here. So, we always encourage folks, to please become a founder. And what that means is, anyone that sponsors an acre out there, which, long story short, we did the same program with our South property because we found out the math came out to $777 an acre. So anyone that basically bought and purchased an acre, which is basically donating it toward or the overall cost that we have to pay, you're a founder for life. That's what we call that. It's a founder. And we kept the program the same with the Horse Refuge. So we have founder events that are annual at both properties. But the Horse Refuge, it's going to be in September. And it's basically pick a day across this given weekend. Then come on out. I think it's between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. And we'll give you a lunch and we'll hang out with you and talk with you. And there's different merch to buy, or if you want to look through that kind of stuff at the Horse Refuge. And then we have set up a trailer for you to drive your own vehicle. A four-wheel drive is recommended, but to drive there on the course. However, we do have pre-scheduled tours as an option as well. You don't have to be a founder to see this amazing place. It is not open to the public on a regular basis, like that one with that walkway in Kingsburg we talked about, because it's just so remote. It's so massive, and there's horses roaming free. However, I actually set up the tours for the Horse Refuge, so anyone can reach out to us. Honestly, if you go to wildhorserefuge.org, there's a visit us portion on that website, and there's a contact form there you can fill out if you want to visit. We can find a time for you guys. It'll be our guide driving our vehicle that seats up to 6 passengers. It's about a 2 to 3 hour tour. So it's a bit of a drive. It's about 4 or 5 hours from the Denver area to give you kind of some perspective up the northwest part of the state. But again, becoming a founder means you're helping us pay for that overall cost of the land. Which is really, really an amazing thing. And that's an ongoing program we have. And again, you're a founder for life. So when you come out to that, if you get invited to that event in September, you could bring the car, you can bring folks with you. They don't all have to be founders because they're with you. And also you can sponsor a horse. We call it our adoption program, but technically the horses, of course, stay where they are. There's no custody battle there. But you can sponsor a horse with us as well. That is an option. And again, you get a wonderful package that's a photo of the horse and their rescue story and that, where they came from and that kind of thing. So that's also an option if anyone's ever interested in that and pursuing that. I know we've covered a lot really quickly. I'm happy to answer any questions right now. And again, I want to remind everybody too that we are 100% a nonprofit. We're 501c3 nonprofit. If that wasn't established before, but we are entirely donation run. So it just takes amazing people that believe in this all over the world for 46 years now to make this possible. So we don't have any kind of Oz behind the curtain. There's no secret, subsidy or government thing. It's just people donating in gifts of all sizes, and from sponsoring them to getting, purchasing an acre for the land for the horses to run free on now. It's just really, really, really amazing thing. But it's people have made this possible. It's a very new property, but it's also the largest horse Mustang sanctuary in the nation, which is very, very, very exciting. So where it's a whole new world. But we've rescued horses before, for sure. Many years. Pat was rescuing horses when he first started out, but having them on this scale is very, very exciting. And again, they just get to be free. They don't have to worry about it. They don't have to worry about all the work. So they have the easy life because they've earned it. So thank you guys. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Well, we can also talk a little bit too about the Wild Horse Summit that's going to be happening out in Craig at your facility, August 5th through the 8th, which will be
Correct.
the 5th is going to be a movie premiere in Steamboat of the 5,000 Mustang documentary. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we'll be doing our whole Wild Horse Summit program, and Pat's going to have some guest speakers, and Pat's going to do a symposium, and then we'll have films, a whole the very first full Wild Horse Film Festival, the whole weekend in Steamboat as well.
Very
so
cool.
it's going to be a fun, power-packed weekend there.
Yeah, power-packed. I like that. Yeah.
People remember to save that date. Then they can see the sanctuary as well.
Yes, because that's going to be able to come out, and we're finalizing all of our details, and we're writing by the time people might watch this later, but we're currently writing our next newsletter, which we do quarterly newsletters. Anyone ever wants to sign up for it, and that will have updates on all 3 facilities. But our quarterly newsletter, we're literally finalizing it as I speak, and we'll have a lot more finalized details that will coming out in the next couple of weeks, really soon, about kind of finalizing the last few things about our part of the symposium. But we're very excited to be hosting it and who's coming, and it's going to be here before we know it.
All right, I'm going to drop the posters for the film festival and for the summit into the chat, so people have that at their fingertips.
Cool.
Those fun posters. So there you go. Mary or Deborah, if you all have any questions, take advantage of having Austin here and at your beck and call.
Yeah, whatever you need. Clean the gutters, whatever I can do for you. But yeah, the one thing I want to address too is that overall we have no breeding. We have no breeding with the carnivores because we don't want to add to the number of animals that cannot go back to the wild. And again, those are really coming from, the roadside zoos, the pets. They're really coming from outside the zoo system. So for the most part, so all of our males are neutered upon arrival, with the exception of our African male lions. Those manes of theirs are testosterone driven. So a female lion, so if you were to neuter a male lion, they lose the mane. It's gone completely. So female lions get a contraceptive implant that we renew every couple of years. So it's that same kind of philosophy with the horses, but the BLM is gelding them kind of from the beginning. So when they come into our care, it's usually already a done thing. But we also know that's part of the problem is the population boom and then bigger numbers and then land encroaches. So, we would love to be able to kind of keep looking at land around us if possible and go from there. We're not trying to stop it at 30,000 acres, but that's where it's a wonderful, amazing number. So not to never say never, but we'll try to. But but we have no breeding. This is the long story short. We have no breeding at any of our facilities.
It's also kind of cool to think that this template that Pat has created at Wild Horse Refuge can be duplicated everywhere that there's an HMA, every state. That's kind of like what I see as the long-term goal, so that every horse coming out of a state can have its own place to go back to where it basically in the area it came from. So
it's amazing, and that would be insane. That'd be really cool. It's the like anything in life these days, the hard part is that funding, right? Is finding the dedicated folks that are going to be able to continue it, and the high cost of because you still have to have staff that are running it. Our staff are definitely more removed, but they're also very involved every single day, watching the horses every single day. But we still we still have veterinary services. We of course work with them. It's not it's wild, but it's also a very careful wild. They're still in our care. If that makes sense. So, right. Yeah, I think like you said, it's a wonderful template that is very straightforward, honestly, and very pure in its concept, but it's something that takes a tremendous amount of resources for sure.
Yes. So the other thing I know people ask a lot of questions about, when the horses are brought there, and now that we're having all of these sale authority horses coming through, it's it's going to be tougher this year as 14,000 plus are rounded up, that like they've never done that big of a roundup before. So,
Right.
we just with our Mustang summits, we can maybe get 100. We're getting close to 100 horses that we've helped to adopt, and that's nowhere near, 14,000. So, I think the idea is getting them more to the East Coast where people like them. Deborah and Mary, are you able to can you hear us? I mean, are you able to chat? I can't tell if they're just on hold there. I'd like to
you
know
can.
where they're from.
You're welcome to unmute yourself if you guys want to.
Yeah.
I think, right?
I'd like
Yeah.
if you guys would like to unmute. Oh, you're in New Jersey. If you want to
Awesome.
unmute, we'd like to move into having a little conversation at this point with Austin, if that works. Mary might not be. So, Deborah, tell me a little bit about how you got into wild horses. Do you have Mustangs now? I can't see if she's turned on yet. Let me see. Can you and I don't know if it's something I can do. I mean,
hi. No, sorry, I was just feeding the cat.
Oh, you're okay.
Well, we see him right there. So
yes, she's been my little buddy on all the Zooms, but she was hungry. She wanted dinner.
Okay.
Well, hi, Deborah.
Hi.
That's my mom's name, by the way. The one I mentioned in the beginning. That's my mom's name too.
I know. I think that we must be a bunch of saving souls. I'm going to shut the TV off because I had Jackie and Shadow on.
Aw.
It was loud with the nest, I guess. I don't know if it's windy there or it's just the noise with the camera.
Sure.
I just knew for years about what the BLM was doing with the horses, always. And I knew they were going to slaughter. And, people, 10, 15 years ago thought you were crazy. And it doesn't happen. And now everybody's pretty much realizing that it's true. They're going over the borders. And now with the sale authority, that is just a horror story. I was really excited last year because on my birthday, they ended the adoption incentive. And then now we rolled into this great sale authority. But no, I'm in New Jersey. I don't have any horses, unfortunately. I did go riding, for, normal things, in New Jersey. Every time I went on vacation and everything, but I don't personally have any horses. It's just I've known about this for a really long time and been fighting the BLM for a really long time.
Had you heard of the Wild Horse Refuge before, Deborah? The facility?
Yeah, because of Scott.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I guess he just left. Whatever. I don't know what happened, but I know he.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. He's still part of it. We're in the bridge building business right now. That we're gonna make a lot of things that couldn't happen before happen. So
okay, good, because I know he's with American, Horse Campaign now. Yeah, so
yes,
yeah.
Been in the trenches with all of that for many, many years. Many years.
Cool.
Laura Lee, I kind of try to support everybody. We did have a New Jersey group. We thought we were going to get out. We went to one event. I think in 23, we had one event. We went to it was in Point Pleasant. I think it was like an Earth Day or something. And we had a table and we collected a ton of signatures and we got some word out. And we thought we were going to continue that. And I don't know, it kind of just didn't go anywhere. So, and we weren't like a 501c or anything. I know. So we thought we were going to get out and, maybe go to some schools or stuff like that, because that's what we need to do. People just aren't aware.
Right. That's basically why we do the Wild Horse Summits, is because when we started filming a documentary, oh gosh, 3 years ago, with a young lady who was riding her horse from um, Delaware to California. She was riding that horse 5,000 miles across the country. She had 4 Mustangs and a Mulestang she was doing it with. And we had a documentary made about that, which will premiere in Steamboat. But what I found as we went across the country, making this documentary, was connecting up with all the people who are passionately connected and involved with these wild horses. And it didn't matter that we were in Delaware, which is the tiniest state I've ever been in. It was 40 miles for her to go across the state. So it was basically like a 2-day ride. But there was a group there that had probably between them all 25 to 30 Mustang horses that they had, they had a club. They were very well organized, and they rode with her. And then when we went into Washington, into Maryland, there were more groups with wild horses, and Ann Hanlon is eventing there, and there's a huge group of Maryland Mustang Mission is there. And as we went into every state, what I saw was the need to kind of have an education component to tie all of this together, and to let people know about the work that the Wild Horse Refuge is doing. We try to keep our conversation with the Wild Horse Summits off of the and kind of out of the on-range topics. So we try to just stay focused on what's happening with our wild horses after they've been rounded up. We do a little bit of education about birth control, but for the most part, we just try to keep our focus and our drive on what do we do with all of these horses. And that's what I can do. That's the piece that I can do. I can run these summits, educate people, and get these horses adopted out 6 and 8 at a time at every one of these events we do. And Deborah, I just put up one we're going to be doing in West Fulton, New York in September, up at I think it's Wild Mustang Sanctuary in New York State. Are you familiar with Mary DeBose's place?
Yes, I actually met her last summer, or I think it was
Mary
spring.
DeBose, is that you? Under Mary?
Yes. Yes,
Oh,
that's me.
Wow. Look at that.
Oh, well, hello. I'm trying to promote coming up to your place. So, Deborah, you did meet Mary.
Yeah,
that's
I love
so
that.
met
funny.
at the Blue Zoos.
Oh,
Very good.
well,
We met
nice.
at Blue Zoos. I know. Remember, you wanted me to go to dinner with you, but I said because I was kind of disabled that I couldn't walk that far, and I'm sorry. I wish I could have went to dinner.
Oh, hey, there's always another time to go to dinner. Hopefully you'll come up here for the summit and we'll go to dinner. I'm not on my computer. I'm on my phone because I just got home from Utah, and
Yes.
I'm getting hands-on with all the Mustangs.
Well, and that's what
So
I was just telling Austin about, what was
Yeah.
it called this weekend? The Wild Horse
Conference.
conference. Yep.
Conference.
Yeah.
So
somebody.
Mary was there this weekend, Deborah.
Yes, I know she was. I saw her post. She had one post that was nice. We'll look forward to seeing the rest of them. I'm sure now that she's home, she'll post more.
Yeah, I was away for a few days, so I'll put a few more posts up tomorrow. Today I'm getting my horse fix back in.
Sure.
Yeah.
How
So
was it? How
Mary,
was
how was
Utah?
it?
Yeah.
It was really great. It was emotionally saturating for me. There was a girl from the Wild Horse that was there. I know her
Mhm.
name, and I'm drawing a
Uh,
blank.
Is it
Danica.
Danica?
Yeah, that's it. Yep. So I met her. She was great.
Yeah. She's
But everybody that spoke, Lisa, everybody did such a great job. It was nice because we all spoke with a purpose, of collaboration, which I think is key right
Mm.
now with all that's going on. Instead of running around like, herding cats, if, we can't all be a heart, we can't all be a foot, we can't all be a hand, but the body can't go anywhere without all the parts working together. And I feel like as Mustang advocates, as Mustang rescuers, as Mustang trainers, whatever part you play, if we can all work together, I think that we will see systemic change.
Do you feel the feeling of a bridge, Mary?
I do. I do.
Yeah.
I do. And, I started something back in January, and I did feel like it was hurting cats because, this is not competition. We're not in competition with each other. We do need to just all work together because together we're stronger,
Right.
Mhm.
And so I started the Mustang Defense Initiative, and I got some people on board, and I'm hoping after the conference, I actually put up a web page, the Mustang Defense Initiative, where, just people that are looking to collaborate on a high level, not on the granular level of, whether or not we should rescue or use PZP but just speaking on a high level, what would be step one if we were going to have change? Because we keep doing the same thing and we keep getting the same response, yet they're doing the same thing. So we need to up our
Right.
game.
Right.
Yeah.
And being in the field, as I am all over the country, that is what I see and what I feel. And as they said, like it's such a different feeling west or east of the Mississippi with these horses. Like
Yes.
we did an event in Ohio last month at Equine Affair, and you can't get enough of these horses there. You do one of these events in Colorado, and they think of them as your quarter horse people don't like them. They're just desert rats. The passionate people love them, but
Yeah.
everybody else it's a quasi horseman. But that's not the way it is on east of the Mississippi. It's totally different. So, and I believe fully that storytelling, that through film and like what we're doing right here, but telling these stories and getting it out, and then the next person tells and the next person talks, and we just have to keep plugging along with this. But I really feel that there is a reignited feeling of we can really build this bridge and make all of this work. So
Mhm.
I
And
agree with you, Lisa.
yeah,
I agree with you 100%. We're limited. We only have 137 acres, which sounds like a lot. But, when you have, you know, a gelding who's a crypt orchid, and then you have some older ones, and then not every Mustang is a good fit for domestication. And for those ones, we do need sanctuary.
Mhm.
And we here can only have so many in sanctuary. So we try to train as many as we can, but not all of them willingly train. So I think if
Yeah.
when we all work together, I think that we will definitely make a difference.
and
and
educating.
I
Mhm.
agree with you.
that's what
Yes.
exactly we really need to get the word out. And I am on the board of ECI, which is the Equine Collaborative. And
Oh,
Barbara
good.
Moore's first word is collaboration. She loves that. So I'm sure if either one of you reached out to her again, she'd love to have you on
Well, I
a
was
Zoom
on.
also. Were
Yeah,
you?
Yes.
yeah, I
Yeah,
was on Sunday on the call. I zoomed in.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I love Barbara, and she actually helped me set up the first few Zoom meetings with the Mustang Defense Initiative. And I love her. She's great.
Hmm.
It was hard for me to get everybody together because then the sale authority hit and everybody's running to the kill pen to try to save all these Mustangs. And then they're trying to get to Hutchinson. So everybody was all over the
Yeah.
place. It was hard for me to corral them back together. I find that this conference was kind of a reboot for a lot of people, and I think that now I can go back and reach back out to Barbara. I love her. The work she does is amazing.
Well, that's what I wanted to just say. The door's open there all the time, I'm sure. And like you said, it's pretty much we need to all get together because it's basically it's us against the BLM at this point because what they're doing is just at this point almost seems illegal.
It basically is.
I
But
know.
and I work on the ground with a lot of unbelievably nice and horse loving and caring Bureau of Land Management and Forest Service people because I have to in order to get the horses for my events. Actually, I'm getting text right now because we're trying to get there. These horses are going sale authority. I've got a bunch of baby horses coming in sale authority, but the lady who's taking them at the event we're going to do can only take 4 because that's all they'll let you have. So I got to
Yeah.
get somebody else to take the other 3. I mean, they make it here. I have a program that's running to educate and I'm having to jump through hoops, but the Amish are going there with all their kids and picking up as many as they can get. So it's kind of crazy
Lisa,
that way.
how old are
Correct.
the babies, Lisa?
I think they're like 14 to 16 months. These are long yearlings that are down at Rebecca Bowman. Rebecca Bowman has a bunch, and Stacy Gardner said when we get closer to your event, if we
Yeah.
need, we can maybe get them from Stacy's as well. So it takes being able, Deborah, from what I do from the education point and our off-range stuff, to be able to work with them. And I found the biggest problem is the DC people because they're so disconnected from which end of a
Correct.
horse poops.
Correct. I call all the offices every time there's a roundup. I call and check on
Good.
the horses. I call and check on them at the corrals. So I do make a lot of phone calls, and I do speak with a lot of the BLM employees, and I'm always respectful because, like you said, you're not going to get a phone call back if you're not.
Right. And there's some genuine, I mean, the southeastern states have some of the nicest people I've ever worked with. And then in Colorado, Lene bends over backwards to try to help me get what I can get. But when we plan the event that's going to happen at Pat's place at the Wild Horse Refuge, when we planned that event this past winter, we had no idea that the roundups in Colorado were going to be happening that same month. So August is the month that they're rounding up the majority of the Colorado horses. And it's just, it played out
last week, right?
Yeah, it played out really well because we're going to be able to have a pretty intense conversation, I'm sure, on Pat's end with the symposium about that. So we usually bring in like speakers that are have veterans programs with the Mustangs and youth programs. And we try to educate people about all the different things you can do after they're off range. And then if they don't make it in life, if they can't make it as a domestic horse, the sanctuary option is what we want to promote with a Wild Horse Refuge and hopefully every other sanctuary that's out there. For these horses to go to when they can't make it. I've seen some of them. I've worked with some of them that they're 15 years old and they've been used to being wild. They don't want to do anything other than eat and be left alone.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's not.
Right.
There's not. I think if some of them make really good ambassadors, and I think the younger they are, the easier it is.
Exactly.
I can't believe that the yearlings are having 3 strikes, though.
I know, it's awful. But I had Mary. They were out in Utah today sending me pictures of the babies out there because there's like 40 or 50 of them in a pen that they were trying to get me the pictures of. So yeah. Linda was sending pictures. So
one of them, I looked at the photo. One of them, I'll send it to you. He looks like he's got an umbilical hernia.
Really?
So that would be one that I would love to get out of there. They sent them
Yeah.
to me too. The problem with the really young ones, like when I say young, it's great to take the
Yes.
4-year-old because you can train them. You know, they're um, they're formed enough that you can start to put weight on their back. Where when you have the young ones that are like a year old, you can work with them, but you know, you've got to put 3 years in before you can really ride
Right.
them. You know,
Right. But you're talking, see, we try to educate people who haven't, the American public that the BLM kind of wants to, lasso into this with, here's your 25 or your $125 horse, and it's your chance to own America. Well, to me, that's the most irresponsible thing that the Bureau of Land Management ever does, is to take and hand someone a loaded stick of dynamite and put it in their trailer and say, good luck, and not give a family or a young person who's never worked with those horses tools to do it with.
I
So
agree
we
with
at
you.
least we start with the yearlings, and I like to use long yearlings because then it's not so long for people to wait. But I want those people to spend that first year on the ground with their horse. To me,
Yeah.
I'm classically trained, so groundwork is our horses don't get ridden till they're 5 or 6. So groundwork is the key, but people need a few tools. And
Yeah.
and the BLM is not giving them the tools.
No,
So
I agree with you. It's just tough for a lot of people. They want to take that horse and they want to start riding it. People don't
right.
want so we do have to change it. And I think that your Mustang Summits are great for that very reason.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, I know we're making I know we're making a difference with horses and with people. So every time we have a veteran that does comes up after they've watched one of the some seminars there, that says, wow, I didn't know. So, but
Yeah, I
that's
think
the only
that's the
way we can
biggest
do
thing.
this.
We
Well, and
really start need.
I truly believe with getting rid of, with the changing of the guard with American Wild Horse Conservation, now they call them. Oh, look at there. I fully believe that now that they've changed the guard there, that it's going to be way better. I think there's a way bigger door going to be opened. So the bridge will be very good. Look at Mary's horses like, don't stop rubbing me.
I think that was Mary talking the whole time. I think that was her.
Look at him. He's so
Beautiful.
funny.
Hey, he's on it, man.
Mary, you're muted. There you are. He's
Yeah.
beautiful. How old is he?
She's a Great Divide Basin girl. She was adoption incentive program. She was rounded up as a baby, and then she was dumped in the kill pen and ended up with Rots, the direct shipper. And we went down and took her, and she's just such a good girl, right? So yeah,
It's adorable.
she's
Sweetie.
everybody's favorite because she's just, as you could see, a love bucket.
What's her name?
Yes.
Shelby.
Shelby. Pretty
Shelby.
name.
Yeah, she's
Nice.
Shelby Mustang, like the car, you know.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's little. Can you see
Perfect.
her? Can you see her body? It's perfect.
Yes. She's beautiful.
She's
Hey,
perfect.
Shelby.
Amazing.
Hey,
She's
Shelby.
gorgeous.
She's like, don't stop rubbing me though.
There's
She
that
missed
face.
you. She missed you.
Oh,
So
I'm
from
sure.
the summit, I believe Patricia was there. Did you get a sense at all, Mary, if they're, you think that they're going to have a change there at the organization?
I do. I really liked Patricia.
I like her
Um,
too.
Yeah,
I
I
haven't
really.
met her, but online she seems very nice. She was on the Zoom.
She's, and I have, misjudged people in the past, but from my conversations with her, she's very intelligent. She's very grounded. And she has a heart for the horses, and she's looking to collaborate, which of course speaks to me volumes. Like, working already with Laura Lee on the roundups and just really looking to change the way the organization worked, which I think is beautiful. I liked her as a person. She was interesting and smart, and her heart's all in it.
Good to
Right.
hear.
Yeah.
And the small world of it is that she lives about 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes from me.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
really?
nice.
Cool.
Outside of Chicago. So I thought that was like when she reached out, she's like, where your phone number is a Chicago area code. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in St. Charles. She goes, I'm in Crystal Lake.
Wow. It's a
So
small
we're
world.
actually going to have a meeting this week. So I'm very excited because that organization was one of the organizations that came, or was the organization that came after the film festival one year when we were showing the Sharon Stone feature film about the prison program, and they were boycotting. Susan Roy and that organization were boycotting the film festival.
Uh-oh.
So.
Hmm.
Well,
Okay.
just remember too, because that's how I met Mary, was at the Jersey Shore Film Festival. So if you ever want anything shown, you can go to the Jersey Shore.
Well, we need to have the theater invite us, and Mary's going to have we're going to do a little film screening up by her library up there too.
Yes.
Nice.
So,
Yep. Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm
Nice.
speaking up there this month.
yeah.
So,
Deborah, please feel free to write, reach out to me.
Okay.
If you go to the Mustang Summit on the website, mustangsummit.com, I can, my email, everything's there. You can or you can reach me on Facebook. I'm easy to get.
Okay. No problem.
Yeah.
It was nice. And
Okay.
when you see Patricia this week, tell her we enjoyed her on ECI
Okay, good.
on the Zoom.
Okay. Well, does anyone else have any other questions for Austin? No. Well, thank you so much, Austin, for taking an hour with us here and being our first kind of our first guinea pig in our wild horse webinars. I think we've got some really great guests coming up in the next couple of months. Again, although Patricia or Deborah, these are all basically, I'm trying to do a kind of like mostly off-range topic guest for our webinars so that we can we'll be talking to like Matt Manro, people who have started programs. And when Deborah, when you were talking about the tip program, there's now a new program that is being run by Forever Branded. They're the organization that the Bureau of Land Management is giving the funds to. They got the grant. And their program is called Branded Partners. And Ann Sodders and Stacy, it's very overseen. Like I am telling you the hoops that people are having to jump through now and to qualify for that program and to qualify for any kind of reimbursable funds it's a lot. So
Yeah, I've been following the Forever Branded.
Yeah,
and I've been following Stacy.
Ann's heart is really into the horses.
Good.
So Ann Sodders is. So
well, I was really glad that the BLM just went and picked up those horses that were in the illegal sale. That was a huge win for us, I think. Like that we all kept complaining and they actually went and picked them up. I never thought they would ever go pick them up.
And that's why they got picked up, because everybody they're starting to understand the power in the internet. So
yes.
That's kind of, it was very good that they stepped in and did that. So I don't think anybody would have, I think people would have, there would have been hell to pay, literally. So
exactly.
Anyway.
Mary, it was nice to speak with you again.
Oh, nice to speak with you as well. Maybe you'll have an opportunity to come up here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not fond of driving, but we'll see. How far was it when you went to the Jersey Shore Film Festival?
I think it was 3 hours, because I'm like I'm 2.5 hours from New York City.
Okay. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Well, it was nice of both of you ladies. So thank you. And thank you, Mary.
Oh, thank
For,
you for doing this. This was great. I came
well,
home and I feel connected again.
well, and we'll post it up on our YouTube channel and get it up there on our social media so people can listen to, because Austin's got I love what the Wild Horse Refuge is doing. And I think it's just
Yeah.
such an important piece of all of this. So we have to have answers, and we can't just have people standing around bitching about wanting the answers. We got to go out there and make the answers happen.
I agree with you. If I could do what he's doing, if I had, if I had the capability, I think, as I said, we all have to play our piece. So,
Right.
if I could do that, I would take every horse, every Mustang here and turn them out, give them their freedom back if I
Well,
could.
and if all I can do is 60 horses a year through our program, that's all we can do. But it's 60 horses more than they're out of holding. So
Correct.
I agree with you.
If I could paraphrase one of Pat's kind of mantras as he started the sanctuary was saving one animal may not change the world, but surely for that animal, the world will change
Yes.
forever. So saving one horse may not change the world, but for that horse, the world will change forever. Definitely.
I agree with you. And the person that adopts them, their life changes. Like this place has become you know, a place of solace for so many people. And the people that adopt from us become part of our extended family.
That's great.
yes.
Right,
And thank
Shelby
you
That's
too,
great.
Austin.
Well, thank you both for joining us. Thank all three of you, and especially Shelby for joining. That's the extra special treat. I think Shelby's the VIP. I think she's the
I
guest
think
of
so,
honor
too.
tonight. Yeah,
She's
I think
delicious, isn't she?
yeah, I defer to her on all presentations. But thank you so much for having me in your guys' homes and your lives and taking the time out to listen. And thank you, Lisa, for the invite as well, and for sharing and for everything you guys do for continuing to speak on behalf of the voiceless and finding what's best for the horses at all costs. It's really special. And thank you for supporting us and just keeping the conversation going.
Thank
Sounds
you.
great. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Good
Okay,
night.
You
thank
too.
you.
Good night.